Taking care of your emotions also means taking care of your body. A survey found that most people who had high anxiety and high depression were linked to having a poor diet and not getting enough sleep. Another study also found that people who didn't get enough sleep had a higher mortality risk. You've almost noticed that you felt better when you get enough sleep, and your emotions also follow the suit. So take sleep a lot more seriously. In addition to your regular schedule, blackout curtains, and create a better sleeping environment and practicing good sleep hygiene. Minimize reading on electronic devices as that disrupts the quality of your sleep. Why start or even end the day off with even having the slightest chance of reading something negative on social media or some social comparison or something by going on your phone? Staying active is also the key. Research shows that regular exercise improves your mood and can also reduce depression significantly. Hence why people that exercise regularly, even amongst the older tribes that have had a lot of centenarians, meaning people that live up to 100 years, were always active and tend to live longer and have healthier lives especially. A small amount of regular daily exercise can be a big help. There's also a direct link with junk food and poor diet, increasing anxiety and depression due to the gut health, which I've talked a lot about, but I'll talk about it again. As the gut contains around 200 and 600 million neurons and is in constant communication with your brain. Recall when you had a butterfly experience, maybe before a big date or doing a speech in front of a crowd for the first time. Your stomach turns and this upside down, and this actually is evidence of your gut acting as a second brain, sending important messages to your brain of what's going on. These responses are so strong because these neurons connected to something known as the vagus nerve, which is the largest nerve in the body that goes from the skull down towards the gut, or the base of the skull down to the gut. Hence, the gut not only controls the digestion, but it also regulates immune system, mood, metabolism, and is full of neurons which are sensitive to emotions and stress. And so when you have Macca's and you go on a date, you're gonna feel like trash before you go on during that entire moment. Like, you feel anxiety, and your gut is filled with a lot of these bad bacteria from the junk food, and it makes you feel emotionally more erratic. And so this gut health was very advantageous to even early hunter-gatherers. If an angry lion suddenly pounced, their gut emptied itself before they would even process what was happening. They could run more quickly and perhaps live long enough to have children. However, in the modern day, it's a bit different, as we have something known as stress, which is more chronic. There's about 5 pounds of microbes in your intestines, and chronic stress spurs the overgrowth of bad bacteria, which leads to widespread immune response, hence inflammation in the digestive tract. Some emotions, especially the lowest vibrational frequency known as shame, has the strongest impact on gut. Why is shame, might you think? Because when you feel shame, all of the negative emotions, especially shame, has these feelings of inadequacy, where you have fear and you feel worthless. And these feelings and powerful message to the physical body leads to a negative spiral unresolved stress, and leads to feeling of shame that affects your mood, health, wellness, and etc. So this also makes sufferers lead to this feeling of shame, and it makes them have poor diets, habits, and negative life situations. And that ends up compounding more shame. So when this becomes chronic, inflammation also becomes chronic and starts to affect the health as well. Hence, it's important to look after the gut health, especially consuming foods that help promote a good bacteria, such as healthy fats, walnuts, avocados, salmon, olive oil, probiotic foods as well, like sauerkraut and kefir, and minimizing sugars and unhealthy fats. And at the end of the day, shame also this feeling of worthlessness, people just don't end up taking care of themselves. They have this loss of willpower as well. So that's why it leads to a downward negative spiral of just more shame building up and just not even looking after your body and everything else about yourself. And that creates a lot more health issues, mental issues, psychological issues, and etc. Even breathing is important as well, and taking slow, deep breaths, exercises especially, can ease stress and create a calming effect throughout your entire body. Hence, emotions are linked with your body, but it's also very important that you take good care of your body. So an action step is to identify what actions are you taking which sabotages your health, such as watching TV late at night past your sleep time, browsing too long on the internet, and etc. And try and identify, why are you doing these types of activities or habits? Is it really because the TV show is good? I know there's times where I've watched some TV shows and I didn't even enjoy them, but I just stayed up late. And a lot of the time when I think back at it, it was just because I just felt miserable, and I just used that time to go into escapism, so then I can escape the reality of my miserable life at the time that I was making for myself, and I didn't want to be responsible and accountable for. So I'll just rather engage myself in something that's like dopamine rich. Get to the next episode, rather than taking the responsibility and accountability to actually put in the steps and actions and work to just change my life, rather than playing just games and just staying late up night. So that's just something that I've realized, right? Becoming more in tune with what I'm experiencing in terms at a deep level rather than a surface level. Also, always look at your environment. Does your environment support or promote a healthy lifestyle or a negative one? And if so, what can you do to change and improve to look after your body more? Whether that's moving out to a location where there is much more fresh foods available and more organic products, and is much more closer with less fast food alternatives to eat healthier and able to improve your sleep and etc. So try and develop this awareness of your emotions and yourself and what activities you're doing and why you're doing them, and get at a deeper level rather than looking at a surface level. Because it might not just be that you actually enjoy it. When you really think about it, you might not even not enjoy it, but you're lying to yourself just so you can pass time and escape the reality of the issues that you have. So this was part 8 of the Emotional Mastery series. And if you enjoyed this, then like and subscribe and stay tuned for the next part, as we're going to be looking at mental models and critical thinking.